Hi guys, Trading Mamas here. Hope you're all doing well. Just wanted to make a video about ethical ETF investing. A lot of you have been asking me about which ETFs we would recommend for people. So just wanted to quickly talk to you a bit about that. Before we get started, just wanted to say that we're not financial advisors, so please do your own research and due diligence when making your investment decisions. Also, if you could please like this video and hit the subscribe button, that'd be really helpful, and then we can continue making new videos for new investors on a regular basis. So we'll just get right into it. So an ETF is called an exchange traded fund. So this is a type of investment fund that has a list of different, an index or a list of different companies inside the fund. So it's traded on a stock exchange and they have tickers just like you would buy a regular stock. So there's actively managed and passively managed ETFs. So what we really recommend are the actively managed funds. So in the actively managed funds, there's a fund manager who actively buys and sells shares of the companies in the fund. They add new companies, they remove like the poor performing companies. So it's constantly being updated and managed so that you don't have to worry about it. So there's also passively managed funds, some of which can be good, but they seem to be a bit slower in growth, and they're sort of you're investing in these companies, but they're not managed. So you're just holding them long. No one's buying and selling for you. So that's one of the disadvantages, but there are some advantages as well to passively managed funds in that their fund management fee is usually much lower. So in an actively managed fund, you might pay 1% all the way up to 2%, whereas in a passively managed fund, you might pay a little bit less commission, like less than 1%. So this is ETFs are really good for people who don't have the time to manage their own investments. So if you're not able to watch the stock market every day, if you're at work and you can't track and you don't have much time to buy and sell, this is a good way to just sort of put your money in and sort of forget about it, check it every once in a while, and not have to worry about the daily aspects of buying and selling and tracking the stock market and tracking the news and all that, which you may not have time for. So the one disadvantage about ETFs, if you are interested in halal or ethical investing like we are, is that companies are added and removed frequently. So you really need to evaluate each company on an individual basis to see if they meet your criteria for halal and ethical investing. So some of the funds have like 20 to 50 different companies, and you kind of need to go through them and make sure that they all meet your criteria. Sometimes there may be one or two companies that don't meet your criteria, but they're relatively a low percentage of the fund, so some people are okay with that. So you just have to sort of go through if you're worried about that, and keep track and on the new companies that are being added and removed. So generally ETFs are less volatile than individual stocks, but they may have lower returns as well. So as far as I'm concerned, I like to invest in individual stocks more than ETFs. But once in a while, I do come across like good ETFs that have clean companies, and I see them having good growth rates. So I have in the past purchased ETFs as well. So I'm just going to go over the ones that we recommend, our top picks. So I recommend staying with the actively managed ones. So ARK Invest is a fund managed by Kathy Wood, and I'm talking a bit about that. And so these are some of the tickers that I would recommend in her with regards to her ETFs. And then there's some passively managed ETFs as well in the clean energy sector that would be good options as well. They're not as fast growth, but they have good, clean companies. And so these are the ones that we recommend, like from a halal or ethical perspective. There are thousands of different ETFs, and if you don't have those halal and ethical limitations, like feel free to go explore as much as you want to. But these are the ones sort of that we have chosen with a halal and ethical mindset or framework behind it. So I'm just going to talk about the ARK Invest. So I mentioned these are managed by Kathy Wood. She's the CEO. And there she is right here. So she's a really, really intelligent CEO and fund manager. And what she likes to invest in is disruptive innovation and the technology related to disruptive innovation. So there's autonomy and robotics, genomic revolution, next generation internet, all of that. So I'm just going to get into some of the funds here. So we're not really recommending these indexed funds down here. So we're just going to focus on the actively managed funds with regards to halal. And these are the four that we think would be worth exploring. So ARKK, ARKQ, ARKW, and ARKG. And I'm going to leave out ARKF because it's fintech and innovation, so it's financial companies, which in halal investing, we kind of want to stay away from some of these because they're interest-based. So we'd really recommend looking into these top four here. So I'm just going to go through them. So if you go to their website, like if you look at the ARKK, for example, ETF, it tells you a little bit about, this fund. So you go to the page, you can sort of see how it's done over the last year or so. And then if you click on fund holdings here, you're able to see all of the companies that are in the fund. So this one has 56 different companies, and Tesla is their #1 holding. So it's sort of arranged in order of which one is their top holding. So Tesla's 10%. And then they go all the way down. So there may be some other companies that are just have 0.01%. So really, I encourage you to go through these companies and make sure that they meet your standards for halal and ethical investing. Oftentimes there may be one or two that you might have some ethical issues with. So that's something to consider. So the next one is ARKQ. So this one is with regards to autonomous vehicles, energy storage, robotics, and automation, 3D printing, and space exploration. So if you go to this one, here's the companies. Again, Tesla's the #1 holding, and then there's a whole bunch of, there's 48 different companies in here. So this one does have a little bit of space exploration in it, but I should mention that ARK is coming out with a new ETF, I believe at the end of March, and it's called ARKX, and that one will be solely dedicated to space exploration. So that might be a really interesting one to get into and save up some money for. So the next one, ARKW. So this is next generation internet, so artificial intelligence, big data, cloud computing, cybersecurity, and blockchain technology. So if you go into this one, you can again see the list of funds, and again, Tesla is the #1 holding. So there's 57 different ones in here, and you can see some like Roku, Shopify, Twitter, really profitable companies in here. So it's no wonder that this has been doing really well. So ARKG is a really interesting one. So that one is about CRISPR, gene editing, therapeutics, agriculture, biology, and healthcare innovation. So this one, they have a company that's trying to cure pediatric blindness. They have like all sorts of health innovation companies. So this one may be like slower growth at first, but I can see it really going up after like a year or two. When this stuff is going to become huge, in my opinion. So here are some of the holdings in that ETF. So there's 56 different ones. And then moving on from ARK, if you're interested in the passively managed funds, there is a QCLN fund. So this is the ticker QCLN, and this is the First Trust Nasdaq Clean Energy Green Energy ETF. So this one is just focused on green energy, and the top 10 holdings. There's Tesla. There's some big names: Tesla, Plug Power, and Phase Energy. There's NEO. SolarEdge Technologies. So you can go through that. But yeah, it's basically about renewable energy, EVs, all that good stuff. And the last one I'm going to talk about is a Canadian ETF, and it's the Harvest portfolio. So this is a Harvest Clean Energy ETF, and it's very similar to the Q Clean, but it's these are the holdings. These are the top 10 that it has. So there's Fuel Cell Energy. There's a few big names, Ballard. So this is another one that's that would be recommended for like ethical investing. Although I have to say that the passively managed ones are a lot slower to grow than Kathy Wood's ARK funds. So these are our top picks. Just wanted to share that with you, and let me know your thoughts. I should also mention, because most of our viewers are Canadian, that these ARK funds, they do have Canadian equivalent tickers as well. So there's like a fund that has them under Canadian tickers. So they are available to purchase in Canadian dollars as well. So that's about it. Let me know your thoughts, and hope you like this video. Please remember to press the subscribe and like buttons, and I'll see you next time.